22-year-old Sifiso Mkhwanazi has been found guilty of the murder and rape of 6 sex workers. Judgment was handed down in the High Court sitting in Palm Ridge in Ekurhuleni. Mkhwanazi admitted to killing the sex workers and hiding their bodies at his father's workshop in Johannesburg between April and October 2022. The court found Mkhwanazi guilty on 5 counts of murder, 5 counts of rape, 4 counts of defeating the ends of justice, and 1 count of theft. Mkhwanazi has denied that the murders were premeditated. Well, our reporter, Offensive Stimo, has been following the court proceedings for us and he joins us live. Thanks very much for your time, Offensive. Just give us a roundup of the proceeding and the case as a whole.
Thank you very much, Nombu. Well, I can tell you that Judge Kasim Musa actually rejected Sifiso Mkhwanazi's version of events, where he said that the sexual encounters he had with the sex workers was consensual and that the murders were not premeditated. He actually said that the time it took actually emanated from a proper planning, and he also quoted the father of the accused saying that, you know, he actually wanted to avenge himself, as we know that there was a sexual encounter he had in 2021 with one of the sex workers, and immediately after that, according to his version, he was saying that you know, there was a disagreement in terms of the money he was supposed to pay, of which the sex worker went and reported him to the police, and then he spent about 10 months in prison following this, prior to him actually, you know, sorting things out and him being let off the hook. And according to the testimony that was brought in by the investigating officer, they were saying that he was trying to avenge himself after this actually transpired, as he was actually targeting a specific sex workers, of which were those of a Zimbabwean origin. But I'm actually joined now by Tutuzile Tabete, who's from Lifeline South Africa, to actually respond to what actually transpired in court today. Tabete, thank you so much for your time. What is your reaction to what actually transpired in court today, where Mkhwanazi has been found guilty on most of the serious charges that were leveled against him?
Okay. According to the way he's been given the sentence, yes, it's okay for the law to take its course, but still, I feel that they still need to do a research or an investigation in that his father's workshop, because you look at the boy and you ask yourself, that at that age when he was arrested, he was 18 years old, then working at his father's premises, but the father, the owner of the place, didn't hear any smell of whatever that was smelling in his premises. So it gives me a concern that when the boy was arrested, I deeply feel that the father was also supposed to be arrested, because it's his place. And yes, the law can look at the way things were happening in terms of this case, but there's more that it was supposed to be done to get the truth out of this case. I'm here supporting the victim, and also I'm here also to support the perpetrator, because at the end of the day, the perpetrator is a human being, whereby we need him also in our communities. Yes, things are happening in our country, but we are living with the perpetrators. When we keep on pushing them away from us, then which means GBV is not going to end in this country. So we need to come together as communities and work out whatever that we see that is happening in our communities, rather than to look at the side of the story and then we take judgment, but not knowing what is going on or what was going on with the perpetrator.
Yes, and then there are assertions from sex workers that, you know, the fact that a charge of soliciting the work of a sex worker was not leveled against them is so unfair, because they are most of the time charged with, you know, conducting themselves in sex work.
Yes, that one, we cannot talk about them that much because at this time, the work that they are doing is not yet decriminalized in the country. It's still illegal, according to my understanding. I'm not saying what they are doing is not right, but it's work because that's where they get food out of it. So I don't know how the government can work out this thing because still their lives, they are in danger. Whether we turn a blind spot and saying it's work to them, for the fact that when you follow their cases, I mean, it's horrible the way they are killing them. And it makes me to be concerned that what is the government doing? We cannot only look at the victim, say at the perpetrator, not looking at the whole scenario that it's happening around the sex workers. So that's my only say that I can.
Yes, well, thank you very much. Well, as you can hear, that's Tutuzile Tabete from Lifeline South Africa actually saying that, she feels that more investigations need to be done, as she feels that Mkhwanazi, the 22-year-old, could not have done this single-handedly. She's actually calling on the authorities to try and investigate some of the circumstances surrounding the incidents that happened at the panel beating warehouse where these incidents actually happened. As you heard in court, Mkhwanazi has now been referred to Sterkfontein Mental Institution, where he's going to be assessed as to check as to whether he will not be a threat to those that will be occupying, prison with him. And also, we will be coming back on the 8th of May for a pre-sentencing report before the judge can actually, give us the duration of time of which he will be serving in prison. Nompu?
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Offenses Timor. Charges have been dropped against accused number 4, Phumeza Zikata, in connection with the disappearance of 6-year-old Joslyn Smith, while the other 3 accused, who include the girl's mother, Kelly Smith, and her boyfriend, Jacqueline Apollis, abandoned their bail application. They appeared in the Vredenburg Magistrate Court in the Western Cape earlier. Outside court, tensions were high and police had to use stun grenades and tear gas to disperse the large crowd of community members from Saldanha. The 2 men and woman faced charges of trafficking in persons with the purpose of exploitation and kidnapping. The 6-year-old girl who went missing 3 weeks ago has not yet been found.